Yeah, right you are, Patty. Polygamous prophet Warren Jeffs may be locked up in Utah facing rape as accomplice charges, but that doesn't mean that Mr. Jeffs has lost control of the twin border towns Hilldale, Utah and Colorado City, Arizona. Places where Mr. Jeffs' word seems to continue to carry the weight of the Lord, at least as far as Colorado City's cops are concerned.
Are you guys upholding the law when property is disappearing?
Colorado City's polygamous cops were jumping over railings.
So let me ask you a question. Who is your allegiance to? The law of the land or to Warren Jeffs?
And diving into SUVs in order to avoid our cameras recently.
Right now they're conducting depositions with some of the Colorado City marshals.
Come on, you're a sworn police officer. Anything you'd say to me?
The cops perhaps a little hesitant to talk because they had just finished grueling depositions inside Colorado City's Justice Center, being questioned about their loyalties to polygamous leader Warren Jeffs and why they didn't seem to be upholding the law.
We don't feel that we have had good cooperation from the police department in preventing property from being removed and or investigating property after it's removed.
The polygamous cops under fire for allegedly turning a blind eye to widespread recent theft in the polygamous community. Most of the property inside Colorado City and neighboring Hilldale, Utah, has been taken over by a Utah court. But that apparently hasn't stopped Warren Jeffs' followers from dismantling entire buildings in the middle of the night and then shipping the town's property to Warren Jeffs' other compounds that have suddenly popped up all over the country.
The fact that they're not preventing disappearance of property tells us that they're more loyal to Warren Jeffs than they are to the court.
Things have a habit of just kind of walking away in the night.
Former Jeffs follower Isaac Weiler is one of many men kicked out of the FLDS church by Warren Jeffs during the last few years.
I was born and raised here.
Born and raised here. Come from a polygamous background, Isaac?
Yeah.
Multiple moms?
Yeah.
How many brothers and sisters?
A lot.
A lot. Yeah. What's going on in your community these days, Isaac?
Well, the community seems to be being dismantled a little bit at a time.
Absolutely, it's an effort to steal from the trust. They're moving the buildings.
Working for former followers of Warren Jeffs, private investigator Sam Brower has tracked the polygamous prophet for years.
It is a problem that's unique to Utah and Arizona. Just like mob activity, the mafia activity was unique to New York, New Jersey, and the East Coast.
My name is Mike Watkiss. I'm a reporter here in Phoenix.
I know who you are, sir.
Of course, over the last decade, we have reported extensively on Colorado City's polygamous police officers, men like former cop Rod Holm, who in 2003 was thrown in a Utah jail for taking an underage girl as a third wife. A precedent-setting case that really was the beginning of Prophet Warren Jeffs' problems with the law.
Are you a polygamist?
I'm not going to answer that. It's none of your business.
And who could forget the town's longtime top cop, Warren Jeffs' follower and former town marshal, Sam Roundy.
Is there a pattern of girls being married in this town? 15, 16-year-old girls being married to older men? I understand many of the law officers have young wives.
Well, I'm not going to comment on that. That's personal business, and you talk about your personal business.
I'm not married to teenage girls.
Neither am I.
Okay, are any of your officers?
No, they are not.
None of them. None of the law officers in this town are married.
Actually, I'll make no comment on that,
Make
okay?
no comment.
It's none of your business.
And now lawyers apparently getting a similar response. Officers of the law allegedly refusing to answer questions, or even worse, lying under oath about thefts in their community and their allegiances to Prophet Warren Jeffs.
I'm very suspicious. I think the evidence suggests that their loyalties are not to the court. They're not to their oath as police officers, but their loyalties are to the instructions they receive from the church.
It's a scenario that would probably create an uproar in most other American communities, but a scenario that seems to be business as usual for the cops along the Utah-Arizona border. And Patty, people hear these stories and they ask me, why haven't these guys had their badges taken away? Well, some of them have. Rod Holm, the guy who was sent to jail, lost his badge. Sam Roundy and another officer have also been decertified in both Utah and Arizona, but there's still 6 cops up there, polygamous cops, carrying on as usual. coming up in a few moments. Another story, another perspective on law enforcement in Colorado City from a couple of the so-called lost boys driven out of town by Colorado City's cops.
Mike, Warren Jeffs is being held in isolation in Hurricane, Utah, in that little jail up there.
But he still has visitors, Patty, and
Yeah.
he has phone rights, so he's definitely communicating with his followers, and anybody who thinks he's not in control in that town doesn't know the town.
All right, thanks very much for that.